Alright, so we're going to restart telling the story of the Moffet and the Crocodile and his friends. Crocky. And we don't have a title for it. So, we're just going to say the story of the Moffet and the Crocodile. So, who do we have in the room? We have Marco over there. And over here we have Francesca and Luca. And the reason we're recording this is so that their little brother Massimo, when he's a little older, he can hear this and see all the fun stuff we were talking about. What's your name, Francesca? What's your name over here?
Francesca.
What's your name? Who are you? Who are you?
Our little brother is too little.
Marco. And who are you over there?
Our little brother is Joshua, Luca, and Crocodile.
Okay, now lie down. Everybody lie down. I'm going to tell the story. You guys gotta lie down.
Our little brother is too small now.
Okay, so let's start telling the story. I'm going to start and then I'm going to ask you guys to fill in because you guys already know this part. Alright? Because we already told this part of the story. Alright, so. Once upon a time, there was a little creature that nobody had seen before. And his name was the Moffet. That's what
Muffet.
Moffet. The Moffet.
Muffet.
The Moffet.
No.
And the Moffet lived inside the toy box. And actually, for anybody who really wants to see the toy box, it's right here. The toy box is right here in the room. You can actually see the toy box. Massimo, you can see the toy box. So, inside the toy box lived the Moffet. But nobody could see the Moffet. Because the only way you could see the Moffet was by doing what? What did you have to do? You had to whistle. And it had to be dark. But it had to be during the day. And it's not easy to have it dark during the day. That's why it's difficult. You had to whistle. Now later on we'll find out that maybe somebody has the power to do that. But so far nobody does. So, inside the box was the Moffet. And he was best friends with who? Crocodile. Crocky. Who's actually Marco's favorite stuffed animal. Can we see Crocky? Show me the crocodile, Luca. Marco. Luca, stay in bed. Marco, show me the crocodile. Alright, hold it up just there. No. Okay. Yeah, it's wet. Put the crocodile back. Go back to bed.
Why is it wet?
Because the bathtub had water in it. That's what we were talking about before. Get back to bed. Back to bed. Okay, so the crocodile and the Moffet played in the toy box all the time. Except for at night when Marco would take him and he would sleep with him. So the nights that Marco wanted the crocodile, obviously the Moffet and the Crocky couldn't play together. Here you go. Here's your crocodile. Lie down, guys. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Everybody lie down. Lie down. Yeah, just like this. Here's your tiger. Okay, so. Alright. So, the Moffet and the crocodile loved to play in toy box. And they would grab the other toys and they would play with them. But they had to be very quiet. Because in the room at night, Francesca and Luca and Marco slept. And the Moffet didn't want to wake them up, obviously.
Yeah.
So what did he do? They would wait till the kids would fall asleep and they would start playing. Now, one day, as they were playing, they grabbed a ball and they were throwing it. The Moffet was throwing it and Crocky was doing what? He was catching it, right? And bringing it back. Until the ball hit something on the other side of the toy box. And what was it? What was on the other side of the toy box?
The purple rhino.
We don't know what it was. It was something purple and it was something soft. We think it was a purple rhino, but we don't know that for sure. And what happened when the ball hit the purple thing? It started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was the size of the whole toy box. And suddenly the toy box lid sprang open. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now,
they got big and bigger.
Now, the kids weren't there. Where were the kids? Where were they sleeping? They were sleeping at Nonna's house. Nonna's is their grandmother. Yeah. Right across the street. So the Moffet and the crocodile were like, what are we going to do? This thing has gotten so big, it's filling up the whole box. So they jumped out of the box and they ran to the door. And the purple thing got bigger and bigger. And the toy box started getting bigger.
How did we get out of home?
Don't you remember what happens? The toy box gets bigger and bigger. The toy box is growing with the purple thing. And it's getting... Lie down, Marco. All of you, lie down. All of you, lie down. Cover yourself and lie down. So, the purple thing was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and so was the toy box. Until it became as big as the room. And the crocodile and the Moffet were going, oh my God, it's getting huge. What are we going to do? And so they ran to the living room. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger until it was the same size as both the room and the living room. And then it cracked the roof of the house. And the house exploded. And the crocodile and the Moffet ran out. What are we going to do?
Did the toy box break the door?
It broke everything, the whole house. So what did the Moffet and the crocodile do? Where did they run? Where did they start running?
To Nona's house.
They started running to Nona's house. And when they reached where Nona's house is, what was in front of them?
The stairs.
That what?
The stairs.
And what was wrong with the stairs?
It's too hard.
It's too hard to climb them because they're toys. They're not used to climbing stairs. The house is on one level. There's no stairs. They're not used to them. So what did they do? They started climbing slowly, 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 until they got up to the top of the stairs, and then they started running towards where?
Nona's house.
To Nona's house.
But,
and when they got there, what did they realize?
Aren't they not allowed to run?
They're not allowed to run. They're not allowed to talk. How are we going to tell anybody about anything? So they had a thought. They came up with a plan.
They kept the mouth shut.
They had to keep their mouth shut. They couldn't talk.
Yeah.
So they had to have a plan. And Luca, what was their plan? What were they going to do?
Draw on a piece of paper.
They were going to write on a piece of paper. And what did they need to write on a piece of paper?
The toy box is growing.
But how are they going to write on the piece of paper? They need to get something to write with, right?
Yeah, but
So they went down the stairs. They found a paper, and they found, what did they find?
Chalk.
A chalk. And they tried to write on the paper to write the warning, but what happened?
It was white
And you can't read white on white. Of course, the paper was white, the chalk was white. It wasn't very useful. So they're like, darn. So then they thought of what? How could we write on white paper if we don't have an actual pen?
I don't know.
What did they think?
He goes up again, and then
They thought of using a dirty what?
walk.
A dirty rock. Because what happens if you take a dirty rock and you rub it against something white?
It will be like
It'll It'll be like writing. So they took the rock upstairs and they said, oh, now we're going to write the note. They got upstairs and they can't write. They're toys, for crying out loud. They don't know how to write. They never went to school. How are they going to write? Like, all this time trying to figure out how to write and we can't write. So they said, maybe what we'll do...
No, the crocodile said, when you said it, remember when you started saying the first of the story?
Yeah.
The beginning, you said that the crocodile seen me writing stuff.
The crocodile had seen you write stuff. So he thought he could write. And he grabbed it, you're right. That's exactly what happened. The crocodile said, oh, I see Francesca writing all the time. Because Francesca likes to practice on the table, and so does Luca. So the crocodile said, I'm going to just be able to write. But when push came to shove, when they got the dirty rock and they got the piece of paper, they knew how to pretend they were writing because they'd seen it done, but they didn't know how to write because they never seen you actually writing, with detail. So they couldn't write. So what did they come up with? They come up with a brilliant idea. What was the idea?
The crocodile came up with an idea, so...
The Moffet would do what?
The Muffet would be a toy that you squeeze their tummy and they talk.
Okay, so then what happened? He lied down on the floor, and they knocked on the door, and what happened?
He opened the door and Francesca said, what is this?
Right.
I squeezed his tummy. No,
She picked it up, right?
And then she squeezed the tummy.
And what happened?
And then said, watch out, the toy box is growing. Watch out.
And then what happened? Who was there?
Lucas said, look, the toy box is
The house is blowing up. And who was there? Francesca, Luca, and who else?
Marco.
Okay, now lie down, everybody.
And Marco.
And so, what did they decide to do? What did they do? What did they say? What are we gonna do now? Who are they gonna go talk to?
Dad.
Where?
At his work.
At his work. And that was the end of the first episode. Remember, that was the end of the first episode. That was the end of the first episode.